The time has come to expose this guy right here. If you don't know who he is, he's got over 80,000 subscribers on YouTube and he's big inside of the crypto influence space. And today I am going to be exposing him. So let's get into it. What's up guys, my name is Aaron and welcome to UX Crypto. This is the best place to find absolute beast altcoin gems, great information about the market, and yes, we can see each other at the top together of this bull run. If you like that, then press subscribe and be around for the ride. But today is all about info. I'm going to be giving you information about Crypto Archie, which is going to expose him. And I actually do have a history of Crypto Archie. I have a couple of different live streams with him. I also was part of the gem hunters in the very beginning of the bear market with a couple of other different crypto YouTubers. And I think today we just have to expose him. But I can't just do this on my own. I need a special guest to come and expose him with me. So let's welcome our special guest.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the channel.
So obviously I had you guys going. We're not going to expose Crypto Archie, all right? But we are going to be exposing ridiculous amounts of great coins today. And yeah, we've got a great guest. We can't be fudding him, okay? We've got anything to say to all these haters who are out there trying to fud you?
Look, man, everyone's entitled to their opinions. Anyone who has been successful always seems to generate some form of hate, but it's just important to be honest. Some people will respect you, some people won't, but honesty is key in the crypto space.
Definitely. So yeah, so today we're obviously going to expose some gems though. So yeah, let's get into your first gem that you want to expose.
So the first project is Casper. Now, I'm not really exposing this project to many people because most people already know this, but I still think there's a ton of room for growth with Casper from this point onwards. Okay, it's a $2.6 billion market cap. It's a layer one. It's an innovative layer one, the first ever block DAG, and it's extremely decentralized. So I've got a couple things to delineate how Casper is so new and so innovative. And this one here is from this guy on X, you can see, and it's showing basically the difference between a regular blockchain such as Bitcoin and then a DAG, directed acyclic graph, such as Casper. You can see the shape difference and how this obviously links to scalability, and meaning that transactions can be solved much faster. If you try and send Bitcoin from one person to another, it's going to take a while, right? It's not the best medium of exchange. It's seen as more of a store of value, a long-term store of value. It's not ideal for someone in a low-income country to send money to their friend because they're going to end up spending $30 in fees just to send $10, which is a large chunk of money in some countries, right? So for that reason, I think we need something which is more scalable, yet doesn't fail on decentralization. And Casper, for me, is that project. Most of the other scalable projects, the Solanas, the Avalanches, they're not fair launches and they're not proof of work, right? They're proof of stake, which essentially means that the money is printed from thin air. So that was the first one. And then this is another kind of thing to look at. You can see all the similarities with Bitcoin that Casper has. Fair launch, no pre-mine, all of these things, right? But then also, Casper arguably solves a trilemma and is the fastest ever proof of work project. So for me, you don't have to be against Bitcoin to be pro Casper. You can be pro both of them, right? You can be bullish on Bitcoin and be bullish on Casper, and the two can coexist as great projects with different purposes. Bitcoin can be seen more as the gold, long-term store of value, and Casper can be seen more as the day-to-day, peer-to-peer form of cash system that's decentralized. And that initial goal of Bitcoin in being peer-to-peer cash has been hijacked into making Bitcoin merely a long-term store of value, right? So Casper, for me, solves an important problem in crypto. Instead of skipping to smart contracts and all these crazy things, we should just focus on getting a good currency in this space. And that is what Casper's doing for me.
Yeah, I actually totally agree. So for your number one pick today is Casper, and I've actually done the exact same thing. So yeah, we've got both put Casper. There's a couple of things I'd love to add to that. So things like what you said about with Cardano, right? It's the same narrative what I remember from before. So Cardano didn't have layer twos, right? And it was all like, oh, we're going to be building and creating layer twos. And then that is where we saw Cardano go from like 2 cents to like $3, and people made way over 100x from it. And then all of that happened in the heights of the bull market, right? It was kind of doing what Casper's doing now, if you look at price action, and then explosion, right? So all of the same things were aligning, I'd say, with the trend of Cardano, but with Casper as well. And when it comes down to the tech, like you say, I mean, yeah, like it's a great example here. This is the similar thing to what you showed. So this would be normally what Bitcoin operates as. That's it. The ability to be able to do this and then actually like break out transactions allows it to scale. And like you mentioned before, so Solana, recently it was at 70% of transactions were failing. And that's not a scalable blockchain. Even if it is proof of stake, it's not scalable. And we still have all these issues. As much as everyone's been like, oh, crypto has been around for like 12 years or whatever has been, it still hasn't really been solved. So we're still in that race to try and invest in the best project. So, yeah. But what's your second pick, Archie?
Yeah, so my second pick is a gaming coin. So we decided to do obviously one layer one gaming, and then one other category coin, and that is Myria. I was in the Gala camp a couple of years ago, but after seeing some of the actions of the team and some other things, and just the fact that it already had a bull run, I decided that we need another gaming hub to dominate the crypto space. And there's a few options now, right? Crypto is becoming quite saturated in the gaming space, particularly with the hubs. You've got GFAL, Myria, Corpo, Portal, and loads of others coming out as well. It's got a very solid team. The chart as well is looking like a solid buy right now. I mentioned this in my most recent video. Yeah, I mean, as well, I've got to give context, right? My entry with this was very good. So it is also important to say that maybe I have a little bit of confirmation bias. The fact that I got into this at 0.001 and I'm up 6x, obviously I'm going to be bullish, right? But let's try and think from an objective standpoint here. If we look at the website, in my opinion, it's objectively one of the best. And this isn't even really my view. This is the view of loads of people collectively. Some other things I like about Myria is the fact that they've got an SDK, so it allows third-party games to come and build on the Myria Layer 2 Ethereum platform. So you're not just relying on Myria studios themselves to produce good games, you're also relying on third parties to come in and use the SDK to build their game and publish their game. So Myria is a studio, but it's also kind of like a publisher, right? Which adds an extra safety net to this project. Furthermore, Myria also runs nodes. So that thing that Gala caused a craze with is also apparent with Myria. You can run a node and obviously earn some passive income, which caused a huge amount of hype with Gala. And I think it's going to do the exact same thing with Myria. I'm not going to go through the whole team, but if you go and look at some of them, they've got very good resumes. And yeah, just looking at the project, looking at some of the games they're going to have coming out, particularly Meta Rush, there's no reason you shouldn't be slightly bullish on this pick. And a lot of people complain about dilution with gaming cryptos, but for Myria, the dilution isn't actually that bad for the next year or so. We've got a 36% circulating supply right now, and I don't think it's even going to double. So very good tokenomics, very good marketing side of things. And yeah, as a gaming coin, it's one of the best out there, as well as having Alex Becker backing too, which you can't ignore in the crypto space.
Yeah, very well said. Yeah. What's actually on that point of dilution, right? What's your thoughts of when people are bearish because of dilution? Like, does it put you off ever, or?
It's a very interesting question. So my stance on dilution has been always changing. A couple years ago, I only invested in projects with like very minimal dilution, but now I see it in a different light. I see a lot of these gaming coins as more like short-term flips in order to buy more Bitcoin and buy more Casper, which are the two projects that I really want to get my hands on. So I'm not holding a lot of them for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So for that reason, it doesn't really bother me that much. Now, if you're a long-term holder for some of these things and you intend to hold them until all the way until maybe the end of 2025, then yes, dilution should potentially be a concern to you. But if you're only holding it for 6 months or 8 months, then quite often the dilution isn't too impactful. And even with that said, even if the dilution is impactful, a lot of the times it's not as bad as what people make out, right? It's all about whether people sell the tokens. The tokens get given to people in their wallets, right, from the vesting. But if no one sells the tokens, it's not going to cause a downward pressure on price. It's when people actively sell the tokens which causes these issues. And as far as I'm kind of believing, I don't think we're going to see mass selling until at least 6 to 8 months' time. So I'm not too concerned about dilution in the short term, but it is a concern if you're holding long term, I would say.
Definitely, yeah, I salute that as well. And I think one thing that I always say is that, 100% of nothing is nothing, right? So people will look at the tokenomics and focus so much on them, and then it's like to the point where they're overlooking the actual project and is it good quality, stuff like that. And that's where I mean, like 100% of nothing is nothing. If you have a project of high caliber, great team, product's great, like there's a high chance of big money flowing into that. And then, the tokenomics don't have to be absolutely amazing because it's still going to go up in the bull run, right? So the bull run, I would say, is we're nowhere near it, the tops of it, of course, right? And we've got a big market to go, like you said, 6 to 8 months or even a year. And, that's where all the action is going to happen. And then I think if you look back on the charts, right, the altcoins, you've probably got about 2 months of it absolutely going parabolic. And at that point, is vesting schedule even that much of an issue at that point? You've got 2 months. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're buying it now and then you're expecting it to bleed a little bit, maybe, but at the same time, that's your opportunity to get things low because you don't want to be buying it at the top, right? So that's the way I see it. But yeah.
Yeah, and what I would add on top of that is I have noticed an increase in greed from new gaming cryptos in terms of the fact that they launch at like a 1% circulating supply, and then it goes all the way up to 80 in the next year or two. So I am noticing this inclination for teams to be a little bit greedy, which does concern me a little bit because last cycle dilution was a risk, but it was nowhere near as much of a risk as what it's starting to look like now. So I saw Heroes of Mavia recently. They just announced that they're going to basically cut their dilution by 80%. So they're basically halting it from now up until February 2025. I hope that more teams from gaming companies do this in crypto because they are starting to get a bit greedy. And that is one of the reasons why the gaming space hasn't took off to the level which many people thought it would have by now.
Yeah, very good point, actually. Yeah, it's definitely something to think about. So yeah, let's get into my second pick as well. And it's going to be a gaming pick as well. So we've got Metados, and hopefully you've heard about it from either me or Archie. And this is one we're both bullish on. And obviously we did talk about dilution a little bit. So this is a bit of a candidate for that. But when I mention about quality, I would say this is definitely up there for quality. Pretty damn good in terms of quality right here. And one thing I absolutely love about Metados is the currency is time. So if you've ever seen the movie In Time before, this is basically it inside of a game. And not just that, right? This is like basically the Web3 Fortnite, you could say. So, a massive catalyst right there. They've got an absolute beast of a team. It's in the Asian market as well, which I think is a massive, massive market. Well, I don't even think that is facts, right? If you've ever seen the coin Creo was like absolutely nowhere. And it's not near as good of a quality of a project as this. And Creo like 50x'd. So this also bringing to a low market cap. This is a really small market cap right now. If you're looking at this, so you can see, look, it's only 2.2 million. So very, very small. But yes, obviously the concern is a little bit of a dilution. So that is one thing you want to maybe consider it. But look, we're looking nice. It looks like a nice little consolidation of a buy. We're in the red, and obviously we want to be buying low, not high. So that's my premise on that. But yeah, what do you think about Metados? I know you also like it. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, bro. I'm super bullish on it. Luckily, I got it pretty much as soon as it launched. I jumped in on it, and I very rarely do this, but I just saw a ton of potential. A guy in my group was telling me about it for many, many weeks, and I just, I don't want to say I FOMO'd in, but the price was dumping at launch, and I caught it right at the bottom pretty much. So even though it's gone down, I'm up a few X's right now, and even if you're buying now, man, I mean, 2.2 million in market cap. All this thing needs to do is go to a 20 million and you get a 10x. So 200 million is 100x. So for me, my methodology with this one is more of a short-term flip. So maybe I'll get a 10 to 30x on this and then flip it into something like Casper. but some people will want to hold it long term. It's completely up to you which method you take with it, but it definitely has 100x potential, and it's quite rare that I say that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, and I got into this really early as well. So obviously we both got Discord groups, links in the description for that, by the way. But yeah, we're gonna go to the next pick though now. So what's your next pick, Archie?
It's called Dex Check. So I rode it all the way up. I did take out my initial investment and a little bit of profits around the top, just as a kind of safety thing. And yeah, now I just plan on holding this one for hopefully the entirety of the bull run if they keep doing what they're doing. It's got multiple different narratives going on within it, and this is why I'm bullish. Most people in crypto, unfortunately, don't understand economics, and they don't really dig into projects too much. They just listen to narratives, and if something ticks off narratives, they'll buy it. That's literally all it takes to convince an average newbie crypto investor. So they added AI to the name, which is obviously trying to help with SEO. It's a launch pad. It's got crypto tools. They use, I think, AI technology as well somehow, like everything is nowadays. But yeah, I'm bullish on the project just because of the multi-sectorial factor with it, and the team as well is pretty solid. Launch pads will do very well this bull run. They did well last cycle, but I think they're going to do even better this cycle. Things like Seedify, things like Dex Check, they're going to potentially do very, very good returns because people are going to want to get into pre-sales or private sales or IDOs, whatever you want to call them, because a lot of these projects, by the time that they reach the market, they're already up 30x or 50x for the people who got in at the private round. And more people are starting to wake up to this, and they're wondering, how can I get into launches? And DexCheck is one of the best launch pads, in my opinion. And it's also one of the best platforms for crypto tools, crypto services. So you've got all sorts of these different things like Telegram bots, tracking whale wallets. These things are really starting to get a lot of attention in the crypto space, right? Trying to find out what the whales are doing with meme coins and how, and maybe copy trade them, all these different types of things. So DexCheck for me is a great all-encompassing type of project to assist you on your crypto journey. And it's looking like another really great buy. Once AI all starts to pump again, and once a couple good projects come on the launch pad, I wouldn't be surprised if we start shooting back up to all-time highs with this one. So 20 million market cap. I would say absolute max, this could maybe go to $1 billion or 2 billion market cap, but I would be expecting more of a kind of 30 to 50x on this one. That would be my kind of expectation. And obviously, I'm already up a few X's right now, so I might sell early. And this is something which people need to also realize just in general. You don't always have to try and time the top guys. If you're up 20x, if you're up 50x, it's not stupid to take some profits. And let that be a lesson learned, because many people last cycle, I remember, and I'm sure you remember as well, they tried to time the top and they miserably failed. Whereas if you just DCA'd out on the way up, you'd be sitting with some nice profits right now, and you could potentially be retired, right?
Definitely, yeah. I actually salute that, what you said there, because I think people are always just thinking that everything's going to be as predicted as well. So if you don't know, I've actually got like 14 different indicators to know when the market's getting oversold. So that's what I'm actually having my Patreon, and yeah, basically they haven't gone off. So, and these have been worked since basically the dawn of time of crypto. So yeah, it's a good way to be able to come out. But I'm not trying to get the top. I'm trying to get an average of the top. Yeah. And it's about safety first at the end of the day. So totally agree with you.
Nice man.
One. All right, my next one for me is going to be VAIOT, and I know you definitely know about VAIOT as well. So VAIOT currently at 70 million market cap right here, and you might be like, oh, well, this is a high cap. Well, you know what? When that money flows in, right, it's all about quality, and this is why I'm showing you this. The price is actually currently down at the moment, like a lot of different projects. So if you look here, it might be a good little accumulation for yourself. In terms of dilution, we were talking about before, 80% of the coins are actually out, so this could definitely pump, all right? And 85 million fully diluted, so something like a 10x would be 800 million, so not even a billion yet. and something like a 20x would be only, what would that be, 1,600,000,000. So I think in the heights of a bull market, good quality projects could definitely do that. And when I say good quality project, for example, look, AI developed by IBM. Okay, if you want good quality, IBM also is backing it, and it's AI and a great narrative, and it's also regulated. So very, very bullish. Also, when it comes down to what they're actually doing, so they're actually helping with legal assistance. Also, we've got broker, aggregator, we've got AI merchants. So we've got 3 main user cases, but definitely a bullish narrative inside of AI. So not to mention, right, we've got partners of IBM and Microsoft now, and Chainlink and Polygon, a whole bunch of other partners. So, if you're not bullish about Microsoft, you're not bullish about IBM stepping into space, then I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, what do you think, Archie?
I'm still bullish on this one. It was actually the first project I think I ever discussed on my channel. I've made like maybe 10 videos on this one. And it's one of the main search terms that people have when they look for my channel. But I haven't talked about it in a long time. And that is because I did flip it into Casper, but not because I was bearish on the project, right? That's just my investment kind of philosophy is to try and use low caps to gain more high caps. And I did grab this one at around 800K in market cap. So I do need to give context that I was up. It's not like I was just selling it, a loss or a 2x. But yeah, I think it's still got a lot of potential left in it. And when I see it in people's portfolios, I still say it's a good project. It ties perfectly into the AI narrative. It's got a lot of good partnerships and things like that going on for it. So yeah, I think it's a great hold. And if you're holding it, so long as it's a smaller percent of your portfolio, it's an excellent project to be holding for this cycle, especially due to the fact AI has been consistently one of the best performing narratives this bull run.
So yeah, in terms of gains, yeah, I would say this could definitely do well. So I've got 30 to 50x on it, and yeah, and like you were saying, Archie, as well, it's all about splitting your risk. I'm not putting all my bags into one project. I'm splitting my risk into different narratives and just have some skin in the game in each of those. So I hope those 3 gems have helped you out. And yeah, we're going to give you a tip each to be able to get absolute crazy gains throughout this bull market. So yeah, Archie, what's your tip?
My tip for the bull run would probably be to try and fix your mindset. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this. Recently, we just saw a lot of cryptos dump, and I saw some individuals panic in the market. You need to be able to shift your mind in order to see essentially the reverse of what's happening in the market. When everything dumps, like right now, that is the time to see opportunity. And that's the time to be greedy. And when everything goes up, you have to be fearful, guys. I don't want to see people when Bitcoin's at 150K saying we're going to 200 and then we're going to 300 and then we're going to 400. You've got to be almost paranoid in these times of bullish sentiment. You've got to be taking profits. Not many YouTubers will tell you this because they want you to just keep buying and buying and buying and provide exit liquidity. But me and UX Crypto, obviously, we're looking out for you guys. And I honestly want you guys to take profits, okay? That is the main thing. We're going to enter a stage where we are in a complete and utter euphoria. We're not there yet, but when we get there, most of you guys won't take profits. It's just a fact. It's an absolute fact. It happened last cycle. It happened the time before. But once you start seeing everything pump, once you see the RSI is completely through the roof, the next time around, right, the next leg up, that is probably a good time to start taking profits. So maybe we have 2 more big legs up in the market. No one ever lost money taking profits, right? So if Bitcoin goes to like 100K on the next move up, just take maybe 20% off your alts. Then it goes to 130K, take maybe 60% off your alts. And then it maybe goes to 150, then you take the rest. Obviously, you've got some indicators you're looking at. I've got some I'm looking at, but I'm just trying to speak in broad terms so that everyone can understand. But yeah, number 1 tip, take profits and try and fix your mindset. Don't be a panicker. If you're going to be a panicker, probably crypto isn't for you. Maybe just put some money in Bitcoin and leave it for 10 years.
Definitely. No, that's great advice, man. And I'll probably add to your wise words there. So mine would be patience, right? So people need to realize what they're involved in. So obviously, you've got a lot of new people coming into the market. Maybe they haven't been crypto before. and you need to know that you're in the wild west of investing. Things go up like 100x and they go down 100x in the same day. This is the wild west, right? And we've seen that with meme coins. And I just think, stick to the fundamentals. Like, I know people get hyped and we see things like meme coins go absolutely crazy and everyone starts flipping and be like, oh no, that's now no longer a thing, right? And then they come out of those narratives of what were bullish before. It doesn't mean that they are not going to come back. Same with gaming, same with AI. We've had a moment, but me and you have been in this market for a long time and we've seen this come around many a times. So for me, it gives me patience and I'm fine with that. I'm like, okay, it's not right now. That's opportunity zone, right? The game is buy low, sell high. It's not buy high and buy and then just keep buying, right? Because that's how you lose. But then this human psychology, they're like, okay, everything's going up. Now I'm bullish on it. That's not the time to be bullish on it, right? It's the time to be like thinking about taking profits, or like, just stay away from it and wait for it. Okay. Because if you can see it going up, then there might be some great fundamentals to why it is going up. So pay attention. But then that isn't the time to buy it, right? It just depends on how you look at it. But I think another thing is this: you can count on people being people, right? So I do UX on my channel, and that's user experience, and that's all about psychology of people, right? So the market, 4-year cycles, why does that exist? It's the psychology of people, and that is what you're seeing, right? So if you don't think that that's not going to happen again, it will happen again because of people. And it's the same with the stock market. It's the same with everything. It's kind of like everything evolves around that, right? So I just think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and don't overthink it. This is all macro. You have to just look at it long term, and when in doubt, zoom out.
Great advice.
All right. So I hope you've enjoyed me exposing Crypto Archie, but not really, of course. But yeah, hopefully you didn't get annoyed about that, and hopefully you have actually got some really good value from the stuff we've shown you today. And yeah, if you don't know about our Patreon, so our Patrons are linked in the descriptions, and also subscribe to us, right? Because we're trying to be here to guide you throughout this market. And any last words from you, Crypto Archie?
I just want to say thanks so much for the opportunity to come on and talk some altcoins. And yeah, appreciate every single person who's watched. We're looking out for you in this bull run. And yeah, if you're in both of our groups or you're following just both of our channels, we're going to do our absolute best to make sure that you come out with some good profits.
Wicked, man. But if I don't see you, I'll see you at the top. Peace.